years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. Finally. Third-generation star Dale Earnhardt Jr. brings him to the flag. Checkered flag waving. It's over. It's Earnhardt.
He's going to do it. He's going to win the race and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. California's Kevin Harvick does it.
You are the 2014 Sprint Cup champion.
The 24-year-old from Dawsonville, Georgia, is about to join his father, Dawsonville, in elite company. Chase Elliott is a NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Ah! Ring that sign, boys! Yes!
And the 1991 winner of the Daytona 500 is Ernie Irvan, the Morgan McClure Chevrolet.
Morgan McClure Chevrolet. I love it.
What's going on, Phil?
What's happening, buddy? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. A little clean air after dark tonight. That's right. Patrick in here. Monday night clean air. Give me 4 letters. 1 word. Yeet. Jugs. So it is episode 29, Phil. And I hinted at this yesterday, that on episode 29 we have the return of a Dick and an addition of a Dink.
A Dink, yep. Dick and Dink.
So let me go through this real quick, and then we'll get the regular intros out of the way, because I've honestly been thinking about this part of the show all day. In NASCAR Cup Series competition, the 29 car has started 918 races, has 40 wins, 27 poles, 187 top 5s, 343 top 10s, and 204 DNFs. Kevin Harvick's had the most success in the 29 car with most starts in the 29 car with 466 starts from 2001 to 2013, including 23 wins, 6 poles, 209 top 10s, and 4,440 laps led. Of course, Kevin Harvick took over that 29 car following the death of Dale Earnhardt Sr. at Daytona. They changed the paint scheme to a completely reverse Dale Earnhardt paint scheme, carried to number 3 on the right underneath the window net there for a majority of that car's life with Harvick there. And he won that Atlanta race. That was pretty freaking awesome.
Yes.
That 29 car, Phil, also has my most favorite paint scheme, I think, ever in NASCAR, with the shark tooth or shark fin paint scheme that they ran back in like 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
A couple of Reese schemes, too, that look really nice. And here we go, the returns. Dick Hutcherson drove the 29 and 97 of his 103 career starts from 64 to 67. In those 4 years, he earned 14 career wins, 13 in the 29. Dick was the hands-down favorite to win Rookie of the Year, but was ruled ineligible for the award because he was a past champion in IMCA. Hutch retired from full-schedule racing to concentrate on his chassis-building business in Charlotte. After 4 years of top-level racing, he became crew chief for his friend and fellow driver David Pearson. The combination won the championship in 68 and 69. In 68, he also appeared in the Elvis Presley stock car racing movie Speedway. He also was named general manager of Holman Moody. Steve Grissom made 71 starts in the 29 from 1994 to 1996. Jeff Green, Robert Presley, and several others would make starts in that car from 96 to 98.
Some of my favorite 29 schemes that aren't a Harvick scheme, those Cartoon Network.
Those Cartoon Network schemes, man. Nelson Stacy drove his Ford Starliner for 40 races from 61 to 63, including 4 wins. In the twilight of his career, Cale Yarborough was an owner-driver for 26 races in the 29, starting in 87. In 88, Yarborough split the season with Dale Jarrett, who drove the car for half of the races. Yarborough officially retired at the end of the year, and Jarrett ran the entire 1989 season, a total of 48 starts in the 29. Dink Widenhouse drove number 29, or B29, as it was often numbered, for 27 races from 1954 to 1956. Widenhouse may be best remembered for his final career race after getting caught up in an early crash at Darlington Speedway where he finished 54th. Widenhouse began crawling out of the car, but when he sighted his own blood from a cut arm, Widenhouse suddenly fainted. Because he was in the process of climbing out of his car and taking off his harness, Widenhouse fell on the ground head first. The rest of his body, however, still hung in the cockpit as they were held by seatbelts. Luckily, Widenhouse was okay, but he never raced again. And if you would like to see the picture of this, because they put it up here. There he is. There's Dink Widenhouse hanging out of his car.
What a dink.
What a dink. What a dink.
What a dink.
In 2014 and 2015, Joe Nemechek, I don't remember this. In 2014 and 2015, Joe Nemechek and Matt Kraft attempted to qualify the 29 Rab Toyota for 3 races. The car has never started a race. That's probably why I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Other notable names in the 29. Bud Moore, 7 starts. Greg Sox, 6 starts. Grant Adcox, 3 starts. Say it, Phil.
Adcox.
Chad Little, 4 starts. Chad Little's been making a appearance on the last 3 or 4. Herschel McGriff, 3 starts. Phil Parsons, 3 starts. AJ Foyt, 1 start. Bobby Isaac, 1 start. And Tim Richmond, 1 start.
Okay.
Next week, or Sunday, I guess. You got right? Sunday, we're live Sunday?
Yes, sir.
Sunday is the 30, which I remember most with Steve Park for some reason.
Michael Waltrip for me.
Yeah, Michael Waltrip. He was the Pennzoil car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when he went over to the Wood Brothers, Johnny Benson took over.
Oh, I don't see a reference next week. Or Sunday. There is a name on there, though, that you'll immediately be happy to see.
Dick?
Following the Coke 600 via NASCAR app on phone and NASCAR website since not joining and canceling Prime membership for these 5 races. Not up in arms like most that are about Prime. Well, so here's my thing with Prime. Patrick, thank you for not being one of these people that is all over the place going, oh, I can't watch the race because it's on Prime. Like, it is 2025. You have access to Prime. If you want it and you're about it, by all means, you can sign up, subscribe to it, and watch it. If not, it's okay too. I like your approach with it, Patrick. Hey, not a big deal. I'll watch it on the phone or listen to it on the scanner. We'll be good.
100%. I mean, there's ways to do it now. I mean,
I'm sure there also might be some somewhat illegal streams coming up for them. Like, you'll be able to watch it. There'll be a way. There's actually some really good NASCAR YouTubers that will do like a live broadcast of the race while not showing you the race, but at least describing what's going on. They'll have a leaderboard on it.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched a couple of those that are pretty good. So, Phil, it's a Monday night. It's Clean Air After Dark. We are not live on our Twitter tonight. We are live on the Left Turn Colt Twitter page. So, Left Turn Colt viewers, hello. Welcome in. We are also live on our YouTube and our Facebook. So, welcome in, everybody. We figured that following last night's All-Star race that there was enough to go over that we probably would have forgotten in a week's time, so that it was probably more beneficial to go live with a week episode just to go over it.
Yeah.
There was a lot, man. And full disclosure, I will be the first one to admit it. I was 100% wrong about how that race was going to be yesterday. I had set everybody up with this idea that it was not going to be entertaining. It was just going to be another boring race. It wasn't going to be this great of an all-star race, and all-star races in the past haven't been that good. This one, by far, is the best one I've watched in a very long time.
I'll agree. I mean, it was one of those that, like, there was action always going on. I mean, no matter what was happening, and the strategies later in the race were phenomenal. I like that. I mean, we said that about the heat races the other night, that they had different tire choices at different times, and you could see the difference with what pit strategy was doing. And the other night during the heats, it seemed like the tires would fall off after a couple laps and you couldn't pass. Well, then the race came along and they were passing left and right, but most of them were using the bumper to do it.
You had yesterday two tire strategies, 4 tire strategies, no tire strategies. It was great. It was everything that I've been wanting to see at a short track with this car. The entirety of this car being in existence. This was perfect. Perfect short track race for the next gen car. We'll get into the nuances and the gimmicks and all that as we break down the actual race itself. I was very, very happy with what I saw yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very negative going into it, and I made a complete 180 on all of that.
Yeah, and I mean, we were talking like during the race, and I was like, all right, I'm impressed. Like it's way above what I expected it to be.
100%. 100%. It was more than I expected it to be. And realistically, all this started in the showdown.
Mm-hmm.
First off, super impressed with how SVG ran all the way up until that opening pit stop. I had texted our group chat and said, well, can't wait to watch SVG drop like a rock or sink like a rock here. And that dude literally stayed in the lead from the drop of the green flag until the first caution.
Mm-hmm.
And held his own, was pulling away. So much so to the fact that he's radioing in saying, hey, do you want me to slow it down a little bit?
Yeah,
that was impressive.
That was a run. And I mean, for him to say, hey, do you want me to slow it down? That must mean there's more there.
Right.
You know, he wasn't pushing it.
That was the best I've watched SVG drive an oval race, I think, so far. I don't know what you think about that, but I think so far that was the best I've seen him run on an oval.
Oh, 100%.
The finish might not have been there. He might not have made the All-Star race, but he looked good.
But here's the thing. Did he look that good because of who he was against? Because you think about it, that's the back half of the field pretty much already in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not taking credit away from him because he did beat Bubba. He beat some big name guys.
Beat Bubba. He was leading Hocevar. Ty Gibbs was in there.
Yeah, just I mean, to me, it's I want to give him credit, but at the same time, like I would rather see him get through, and I would have liked to see what he did at that point versus all the other like top 20 guys that you normally see in the top 20.
You would not have known yesterday that SVG was struggling on ovals this entire season.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, struggling might be an understatement.
I think he's qualified in the bottom 3 or 5, like at every mile and a half.
He has solidly been running like third to last, fourth to last, fifth to last, you know, for what seems like all season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember, you know, exactly where he's been running, but I was really impressed. I was really impressed with how SVG ran yesterday. Had a little run in with Todd Gilliland after the race, or as Mike Joy, I believe, called him Todd Gilliland. SVG did great on an oval race. He was stellar. I 100% agree. The whole Wilkesboro racing action was great for everything. I agree. I want every short track to be exactly what Wilkesboro was yesterday. Shrek, fantasy point leader in the house. Yes, sir. At least for another week. At least for another week, sir.
I don't want to talk about it.
Dude, you speaking of sinking like a rock, Phil.
Holy crap, like dude. Penalties and everything have gotten me the last couple weeks that I am like, I had creeped into like 9th and now I think I'm like 15th. I'm way down there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, the penalties haven't helped anything either. So Showdown. I thought Hocevar naturally winning the Showdown looked really good. I thought watching, and I think Hocevar is one of your best up and coming talents in there. I don't think that's I don't think that's saying anything out of pocket or out of turn or anything. I think it's pretty apparent that kid right there is going to be something once they figure out a way to put it all together come Sundays. I mean, he said the 20-minute practice sucks and 50-minute practice he did better. He did. He was talking about how he doesn't have enough time to practice, then goes ahead, puts it on the pole for the showdown, and then go ahead and leads every lap of the opening part of the showdown.
Mm-hmm.
And Shrek, I am NASCAR's consistency, fills as Mr. Excitement. And then John Hunter Nemechek, Legacy Motor Club in general, looked really good in the showdown. Eric Jones ruffled a couple feathers along the way, but he looked good. John Hunter,
he did what he was there to do, though.
That's
you know,
true.
like it don't matter. You got top 2 finishes, and I mean, he put it on the line and put it up there when he had to, but just couldn't finish it.
That is true. So John Hunter did well. Ty Dillon was making noise there at the end, which shout out Cooper for telling us before the race even started. I believe that is the boss man there, and he's always more than welcome to come in here, but he never does. So make sure you all go attack him, or it's Cooper. It's one of the two. Ty Gibbs struggled a little bit. He made his way to the front and then just fell off for him.
Typical Ty Gibbs lately, though.
Typical Ty Gibbs lately. I guess we got to talk about the Ryan Preece stuff too. I didn't even remember to write that down.
Dude.
So the final restart there, Ryan Preece cannot see the choose cone or choose V because it's been rubbered over. And every picture I saw of it, you could not see it. You could not see it. It's the admin, not Cody or Coop. I don't know. I don't know who it would be then. I don't know.
No, and like I saw pictures and I even saw from the infield, there was a thing that said there was cones up on the wall at the same spot, but they're not looking for
hard
cones.
It is to see that anyway.
Yeah, they're up high. Like the picture I saw, there's no way you'd be able to see them unless you're like way the hell back.
You would not see that unless you were purposely looking for it.
No.
So
I guess I was listening to Sirius this morning, and I guess you can hit the V. You can't hit the box that's in the middle.
Right.
So, because they were talking about it, and they said if he had moved over another couple inches, he would have been fine because he would have missed the box. It's like the hell he would have. He would like drove in the middle of that freaking thing.
I thought during the moment it happened, Preece had every right to argue it. However, I sat there thinking, a rule's a rule. I get it. It sucks. However, we did have a caution that I don't think is a caution anywhere else during that whole event.
Not at all.
To which I react to that as this is an all-star event. It's not for points. Obviously, anybody can look down at the track and go, yeah, we can't see that either. We understand it, and we're going to let it slide this time. They did not do that. I thought where Preece really had an argument is after the race when they repainted it. Right then and there, I thought, Preece had every room to argue his stance and where he should be. We've already said it, Cooper. Shout out to you. You absolutely called that one.
100%.
And I do find it hilarious that following the race, Preece threw up a cone on the wall right where the V was. Remember what the Bristol dirt race, they used the drone for the choose? They need to bring that back. There ain't no driving over it with that.
That's like
in this situation on such a short track and given the event, there's no reason to not have a guy standing out there with a cone. Have an official jump over the wall, throw a cone there.
100%. I mean, that was kind of what I was just about to say. Send somebody out, put the cone, run back down the track. When the cars go by, pace car slows them down enough. You got enough time. Grab the cone, get the hell back over the wall.
Unless they're afraid of another NASCAR official incident where they dropped with the fire extinguisher or fell out of the truck. Cooper, as much as I love Noah, the other 3 former SHR boys are thriving. Maybe he's just not cut material. I think Briscoe's struggling a little bit. I don't think Briscoe's making noise. He's running better naturally, but he's running for a better team.
In my opinion, I don't think that 4 team is the top team at Front Row. Like, I think they're like the bottom team. Like, they don't get as much of the resources and whatnot because they're a newer team versus some of the other guys. You know what I mean?
Right. They're not. I think Barry probably gets pretty good stuff from Penske.
Oh, 100%.
And I think, naturally Roush, everybody but Brad's been running well, although Brad's been running a whole lot better in the last couple weeks as opposed to what he was. Noah has struggled in being in the wrong place at the wrong time this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's attributed to where he's running. However, I don't think it's 100% his fault. And speaking of Noah winning the fan vote yesterday, I saw a lot of people on social media just not understanding how. I would challenge you to go look not only at his Twitter, but people that mention him or talk about him. That guy at the racetrack does a ton for his fans. He's going into the infields. He's signing flags. He's hanging out, in the campgrounds. He does a lot. And he also is one of the only drivers I've seen doing weekly content from the track on his own YouTube channel. That helps a lot.
Yeah, and he does a lot of like other stuff, like other podcasts and things like that. Like he's active in everything all the time.
Yeah. I just think Noah's the result of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Daytona, he ran really well. Naturally, it's Daytona. It's a crapshoot. But he was running really well until he got caught up in that one of those incidents there. I don't quite remember what he did at Atlanta. He ran really well at Coda, which is not a track you would expect Noah Gragson to run well at. And then following that, it's just been wrong place, wrong time. Noah's got a share of fans. Good for him last night winning the fan vote. I honestly, Patrick mentioned something earlier, and let me bring that comment up. I thought Bubba was getting in too. And at the end, he was running, I think, top 3. And he just got kind of shuffled out. He got sort of moved out of the way. Out of that position. So he almost did transfer. And yeah, the haters out in full force. And
that car was pretty. That was one of my favorite cars from last night, that Logitech car.
That car was pretty. I didn't remember Vegas, but okay, so if he finished well at Vegas too. So like he's had solid runs. The results at the end just don't show yet. Give it time, and or if you put him in better equipment, I think he runs a lot better.
100%.
SVG and Todd Gillen, we talked about that. I guess let's move into the main meat and potatoes of it. All-Star race. So Christopher Bell is your winner. It did not look like it was going to be that way, though, throughout the race. I thought for the better 3/4 to 95% of the race, it was Joey's to lose. Joey was very aggressive all night. Kind of back to what we talked about yesterday on the show. He kind of did what Lane Riggs did, putting people in bad spots the way Kyle Larson would, and would hold on to the lead. Until Christopher Bell got under him and raced Logano the same way Joey ran everybody else and the way Joey ran him up until that point. So Bell kind of brushes up against Logano, gets him shoved up out of the groove a little bit, and gets the win. Joey Logano's post-race comments were that he's going to race him the same way. And something along the lines of he didn't like being shoved up the track. To which my response is almost exactly what Patrick literally just commented. Joey got a taste of his own medicine, and he tends to drive with his head up his ass.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. So, to Joey, I say pot meat kettle.
He put a lot of people in bad spots. Like some of those 3 wide spots he had people in. There was he came off 4, and I can't remember who was under, but he ran him down going into 1. I can't remember who.
Blaney or Brad?
I think it was Brad. And he ran him like all the way down to the bottom of the track and kept like pinching him down. And then Brad kind of moved him up, and Brad got loose and kind of like slid into him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they drove off. But it was like the same thing. Joey was doing the same stuff, but Bell gets up there, and as a short track racer, that's short track racing.
That's short track racing.
That's short track racing. You know, but like he didn't do him dirty. He didn't spin him. He didn't wreck him. Like he got under him, and he raced him hard. He rubbed him. He, a little contact here and there, and he drove on.
Son is racing.
Yeah. but like the haters on Twitter, like, oh my God, like you would have thought Bell murdered somebody.
Yeah. But on the flip side of that coin, I think I've seen a lot of people start to come around to what I've been saying for years about Joey, is he'll race everybody hard up until someone races him hard, and then he cries foul. And that is the biggest point. I'm not a big Joey fan. I've never have been. He's always been like that bottom tier. Like my bottom 3 have always been, well, I shouldn't say always, but my bottom 3 are Joey, Kyle Larson, and Cody Ware. And the reason why Joey's down there is exactly what you saw last night. He can race everybody hard, and credit to him. I thought that move he pulled at was it Texas, where McDowell shoved him all the way down to the bottom and he went on the apron. I thought that was a badass move, and credit to him. I thought that was awesome. He just never likes being raced the way he races people and cries about it, and it drives me nuts. And then he's going to sit here and complain about how everything's gimmicky when his last 2 championships that he's won have been purely off of the gimmick. I'll give him credit on the first championship. I'll give him credit on that one. But the last 2, he won them because of gimmicks. And what did he say back then? Won it off the format. Won it off the way it was designed. He also complained about the competitor's caution. And this is something that we knew, if there was not a natural caution that occurred at lap 200 or beyond to 250, that was going to get thrown. Everybody knew that caution was going to come. Everybody did. Every driver knew it. Every fan knew it. And if you didn't know it as a fan, you knew it when you saw Michael Waltrip and his goofy ass standing on top of the flag stand.
Drop the yellow.
However, I will say that I don't think Michael is very good at math, because he would hold up the 5 and he'd be like this. And then 3-4 laps later, he was like 5. And then they tell him to wave the flag or throw the flag, and he quite literally threw the flag.
Yeah, threw it. Just gone.
So we knew that this was a gimmicky race. We knew that was coming. I thought the pyro was a little bit of a overstep for the situation.
It was funny. Like you heard the guys in the booth. Wow.
You would have thought the race was over with all the fireworks going off.
And like I think up until we got even to the competitor's caution, whatever the hell it's called, once we got to that, they knew it was coming. Like the strategy was already there. You can't complain because you didn't pick the right strategy and get yourself back out front,
right,
and be able to stay up front. Like how are you going to call that a gimmick? Like everybody knew even if you didn't know, they said it on the broadcast. I don't know how many times.
Yeah, they almost alluded to it like every 15 laps. You were hearing about it, especially after they crossed the line for 200.
It was pretty much they'd hit a commercial, they'd come back and talk about it, and then they'd go back to commercial again.
And just, the racing itself yesterday, especially for that race, was really good. Multiple grooves. They could run the very top, they could run the middle, they could run the bottom, they could run a lane up from the bottom. It was really good racing. Great strategy throughout the field. Again, kind of back to the showdown. People taking 4 tires, 2 tires, no tires. It was a really good race. Cooper, I disagree with you. I think if they make it a points race, it'll be the best short track on the schedule. That's what I think.
I think it's because of how hard they have to drive it. Like, you've always got to be up on the wheel. You got to be like on the edge with that thing all the way around.
Yeah, and even though I think they had at one point 18 lead changes, which was the most for an all-star race. Even though it seemed like Joey led a majority of it and Brad led a majority of it, you still had comers and goers all night. You had great battles all the way around the track. I think Larson might have radioed in at some point that, there must be a good battle for the lead or something because this is boring or something like that. Yeah, I understand Bristol's bad, but this isn't like Bristol.
This reminds me of old Bristol.
It does. Because you had people doing, giving other guys the bumper and getting them loose, moving them up the track, moving them where they wanted them to be. It was so much better.
And the thing is, with this car, they had so much control, even after the big shoves. As long as it wasn't too much, all it did was run them up the track and you got under them. I mean, it wasn't like they were wrecking them. They were just giving them enough of a tap to get them up out of the way.
And I think a lot of what it has to do with is that track, even though it was just paved, 2 years ago, a year ago, it's aging really quickly. It's aging at the same progression as I feel like Atlanta is. Like, it's getting character already.
Is it one of those that they're going to screw up by doing something, though? That's the question.
I wouldn't touch it. That's for sure. I would not touch it.
Well, I wouldn't either, but that's not NASCAR.
No, that's true. What you had yesterday was perfect. Perfect short track.
You know what else would be really, really cool to throw in the mix there?
What's that?
Option tire.
Yeah.
Put one more, just, give them 2 sets of option tire. Throw one more set of tires in the mix. That's going to make somebody just a little bit quicker.
I don't know, Phil, did they do anything differently to the cars this weekend, or is it the same short track package that they always run?
I thought I heard they changed the diffuser on the back.
I question that because I don't remember if the diffuser was on the car for short tracks or not.
It's
but
a smaller one.
On every in-car I saw, it looked like there was no diffuser there.
So the video I saw, it was like normally it's 4 ribs on the diffuser in the back. This one was smaller and it's like half the size and it's only like 2 ribs in the back.
And realistically, I feel like on a short track, a diffuser is not really going to do that much. I mean, if they run that big intermediate package diffuser, it will.
Yes and no, because I think those cars are still, even on the short track, are aero dependent. Okay. I mean, I think you saw like Clean Air. Clean Air's huge. Look at Keselowski. When he had Clean Air. What are you pointing at?
Shameless promo.
Oh.
Or shameless plug. When you had Clean Air.
When he had Clean Air. I'm like, what are you pointing at? When he had Clean Air, the car handled good. Once he got in the back, he couldn't do anything. I think the aero is way more dependent even on small tracks like that. And I mean, Bristol's huge with aero. But I don't know. I'll have to see if I can figure it out, and we'll go over it Sunday. If I can find it, I'll send it to you so I remember. But I think I saw the video on the pre-race show that they were talking about the diffuser.
Yeah, find that and let me know, because I feel like they did something different with it this week. Because it didn't react the same way it normally does at short tracks. Cooper loves your red option tire.
One other thing that I did notice this weekend is nobody was shifting.
No.
They were staying
No.
in fourth gear all the way around.
And that's something that you and I have said a lot on here. You know, if you want to fix short track racing, change the gearbox a little bit so that they're not downshifting the way they are. Downshifting at Martinsville is a sin. I will die with that.
It's a big momentum thing. Like it's all about keeping your momentum when you're not shifting. You just got to keep the RPMs up, and that's what makes decent racing. Because one guy screws up and another guy gets a good run off. That's where the runs come from, instead of this follow the leader where everybody's just staying the same all the way around. I mean, I hate the shifting, and I mean that sounds really boomer of me, but like
really
anywhere. It is like, it sounds real boomer.
Yeah.
I'm not a boomer, I swear.
Yeah, I think that North Wilkesboro definitely deserves a points race. That's a good point. I have a weird thing. I like shifting, but when the cars have power,
give them all the power.
Give them all the power. What is stopping them from trying a higher horsepower package at a short track right now?
Absolutely nothing.
What is there to lose? Bristol and Martinsville have been pretty awful. What is the problem with trying something there? Something, anything.
My dog's like whining behind me. I was like, what is that noise?
That ADHD kicked in.
Yeah, it did, probably 100%. But that goes back to this race would have been a perfect time to try stuff.
Although I'm kind of glad they didn't.
I mean, I'm glad they didn't either, because it turned into a really good race. But this is when you do stuff like that.
I hate to give credit. I got to give it where it's due.
Oh, yeah.
They nailed it this weekend. I'd be interested to see what an Xfinity car does here.
I think they would be good because of the horsepower and how bad they handle in general.
That's what I'm saying. And I'd love to see an Xfinity race at North Wilkesboro. Honest to God, I don't know why they didn't run them there this weekend.
Because you had too much of the late model stuff and the modified.
No, that modified race has left much to be desired.
Talk about shit show.
That was a shit show.
Dude, when that 3-car hit the wall head on, oh my God, dude, I cringed.
Shout out the Double Freedom Rockets one time.
Man, he hit a ton. Brother.
Junior wants Xfinity at North Wilkesboro. I agree. And we're kind of doing the show. I haven't listened to any of the podcasts that have dropped. I did tune into the Teardown last night live just because I wanted to get a raw reaction feel.
Listen to a little of Sirius XM this morning on the way to work. Listen to a couple things on there, but I mean, those guys had the same opinion we did. They were really expecting not to be a good race, and they were surprised. And Alex Hayden was on there, and he was, he's very vocal about how bad things are and how good things are. Like, he doesn't hold back, and he pretty much said like he would love to see a points race. I mean, I'm not against it, not at all.
No, I think a points race would be really good for the schedule, and might catch flack for this one. I would remove a Darlington date and put it here, and make this your throwback weekend.
That'd be a good throwback.
That's what I would do.
First one, I want to see the whole field painted like every car in the 1996 field. That's the only throwback I want to see.
And it's not like I feel like they implemented the throwback weekend because I feel like ticket sales were down for Darlington when they implemented it. They don't need help selling tickets here at North Wilkesboro at all right now. However, I think for at least the first points paying race here, if they do that, and I really do think they're going to do it, I think it'd be cool for the throwback weekend here.
I like Darlington, but in my opinion, Darlington hasn't been that.
Darlington's a track that will do just fine with one date.
Yeah. But you got to think we
to it all
also,
year.
we're not getting California back. We all know that now.
No, that's true too. Maybe I'm in the minority here saying this. I don't think a lot of tracks should get 2 dates. I think we have so many good racetracks around the country that we either have gone to, haven't gone to, or used to go to, that you could literally fill the schedule with some of these tracks that don't need 2 dates.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, again, minority, I think you leave Texas on the schedule right now because that was the best Texas race we had in a long time. Not that it was perfect. However, as the track surface ages and adjustments are made to this car, Texas is starting to turn the right direction.
As long as everybody stays out of the grass.
As long as everybody stays out of the grass and they don't remove the grass. But yeah, I was really happy with the way Wilkesboro shaked out.
There was a lot of comers and goers. Like there was different people up front throughout the whole thing. I mean, Joey pretty much stayed up front, but I mean, you saw Chastain up there. Elliott was up there for a little bit. I mean,
do you want to talk about the manufacturer showdown, or do you still not understand it enough, just like me, to where it's pointless to even talk about?
You got points for the top 5 finishing Chevrolets, Toyotas, and Fords. That's all I know. I had no idea anything. They mentioned it one time, and I was like, what the hell's that?
I didn't understand it when they announced it. I didn't understand it leading up to it, and I didn't understand it afterwards. I was just like, oh, yay, trophy. I don't know how it was scored. I don't know what.
No clue, bro. Like I tried to research it. I looked it up on J-Ski and they had a breakdown of it, and I was like, I still don't get it.
I still don't understand what we're talking about here.
I mean, what did they get out of it?
I think just the trophy. I'm sure there is some monetary value to back to Chevrolet for it.
One thing we didn't mention, I give props to Larson.
Yeah, Larson starting in dead last, making his way back up through the field. Granted, he had an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think they bent a toe link or something, didn't they?
Yeah.
He kept hitting the wall every time he tried to go up to the top. He tried to carry too much speed and just caught the wall a lot.
That's what got him at the end of the race, is he KO'd the right side of the car.
Did you see Brad when he had his tire issue when he came to pit road? Car did a little jump when he came to a stop.
Yeah. He killed that thing pretty good.
So does Brad get the Clash Big Junk Award? Or do we go to the modifieds?
Modifieds would the whole modified race would just be
although we can also give it to that what was that, the street stock race?
That street stock race in New York. Yeah, that was raining.
No, I think we give it to Brad here.
I think we go Brad.
I think Brad gets big junk for the Clash, the All-Star race. I'm sorry. I thought Victor was actually jumping in here. He said he might. I think we're kind of at the end of the show, though.
Yeah.
Just a little pop-up show, man. I do want to talk a little bit about this upcoming schedule we have this weekend, because there's a lot of racing going on. It all starts Friday, where you have ARCA practice and qualifying from Charlotte. Following that, you have practice and qualifying for the Truck Series at Charlotte. At 6 o'clock Friday night, you got the ARCA Menards General Tiger 150 on FS1. Then you have the Craftsman Truck Series North Carolina Education Lottery 200 at 8:30 on FS1. On Saturday, you got practice and qualifying for the Xfinity Series on the CW app. You have practice and qualifying for the Cup Series on Prime. At 4:30, you have the Xfinity Series BetMGM 300 on the CW. And then you have the ARCA Menards West Series in action for the Colorado 150. That'll be on Flow Racing at 10 o'clock. So you literally have the afternoon of Friday all the way till the end of the night Saturday of nothing but racing. And then we move to what I've always called the greatest day in motorsports. You've got F1's Monaco Grand Prix on ABC at 9 in the morning, which I believe is a re-air at 9 in the morning, isn't it? Then the actual race start at like 5 a.m. local time.
I thought it was like 7.
Maybe they did push it back a couple hours. I don't know.
It used to be 7.
I always thought that 9 o'clock one was the pre-recorded one. Someone help me out with that. It might actually start at 9 a.m. Eastern. Then you have the Indianapolis 500 at noon on Fox.
Monaco's live. Patrick.
Monaco is live. Okay. So I guess this throws us into a little bit of a loop for Sunday here, Phil. We might have to go live before the Indy 500.
That doesn't work for me.
You have church on Sunday, so we can't do that.
Yeah.
Who knows? We might just go live at noon on Sunday. We'll talk a little bit about the Indy 500 as it's going on, and
yeah, we can.
We'll preview
go live and
600.
talk about the start.
Yeah, I like that. We'll talk about the news of the week because we don't have a race to go over anymore. I'm sure there's going to be some news drops this week, especially with this being the home track. The Coke 600s at 6 o'clock on Prime. Remember, it's on Prime. It is not on Fox. It is not on TNT. It's not on NBC. It's on Prime. Yeah, we'll have a bunch of news and stuff to talk about this week, I'm sure.
Should have had your Prime hat on tonight.
I was going to, but you know what? I had to support Noah after some of the things I saw tweeted about him.
Poor guy.
When Ford is with Red Bull next year, I'll pay attention more. It truly is, to me, the greatest racing weekend in sports.
I do not watch any other Formula One race, but me and my kids usually sit down and watch the triple.
Yeah, I mean, it's... What do we got? I just had it up. I was going to count the miles. I know it's 1,100 between the 600 and the Indy 500. I don't know how many miles. I guess they consider it kilometers over there. I don't know.
78 laps.
It's 1,100 miles plus 78 laps of Monaco. But that's all I got, man. That's all I got.
I got nothing else, man. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Everybody on the Left Turn Cult, if you're watching us on there, make sure you go over to our Clean Air Show Twitter. Follow us. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up on this video if you're on YouTube. Helps the algorithm out. Gets us out to some more people that may not know we even exist. We have a Discord. If you want to get in on the Discord, let me know. I'll send you the invite link. You can send it right to my Twitter handle at OneLugTV, right at the bottom of the screen. We're on Instagram and TikTok too, although I've been lacking in the TikTok department.
We got plenty of dicks to go back and you can make a dick compilation.
Dicks and dinks.
Dicks and
all
dinks,
of our
dude.
TikTok is. Other than that, if you are new here, we end every show with our pal Victor telling a certain race team where to go. So we end that tonight as usual. See you Sunday.
Thanks for joining, everybody.